Hello and welcome to yet another patch podcast. Today I'm joined by two people once more, Jade Dragon and Vic. And let's introduce them first. Let's start with Jade Dragon. Tell us who you are.
I'm Jade. I'm a community figure here in the APAC region, and I'm also the public relations lead for HOTA.
What is HOTA? Explain this to our viewers as well.
Okay, yeah. So HOTA is a team from the APAC region that does tournaments, and is also a competitive team.
Okay, from a personal player level, what would you say? How good are you?
I would say I'm low to mid masters level. I have hit like top 10 once, but that was very couple seasons ago.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I've never been top 10, so you're already better than me. Okay, Vic, about you. Who are you? Tell our viewers.
Hi, my name's Wick. I am an esports enthusiast and a huge fan of Legends of Runeterra. I have competed in card games, and Legends of Runeterra is the one I've been taking the most seriously and cared the most about. I've played in a few seasonals and I've topped the tournament once as well. I only get masters every once in a blue moon, but that's just because like I go to school and work full time. So Legends of Runeterra is just a passion for me, and I really love what Riot has given us.
That's great. And we've met each other over the Legends of Runeterra Poetry Discord. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to join as well and discuss with us the patches yourself. Then come by, and you can also find a lot of funny and awesome haikus, senryus, poems about lore. And yeah, that's very cool. But let's move on to the patch notes. We have a lot to cover. This patch was announced as a very big rework patch. And yeah, let's just get started right away. You see a little bit of anniversary stuff, and then actually 3 new cards added once again. But interesting that these are now actually having rarities. The others were just like common. This one, its first one is an epic. Might of the Vanguard, basically just a rework of an existing card. The 3-mana slow, summon a 3/3 Vanguard. But now it's actually also like a production surge that you can invest as much mana as you want. So if you pay 4 mana, you get a 4/4. If you pay 6 mana, you get a 6/6. And if you happen to pay 10 mana or 9 mana, you get also grant all other elites +2/+2. Interesting card. I'm not sure if that's enough to push elites over the edge. What do you think?
Well, I think that the secondary condition is, I think, one of the most interesting ones. We do see that Demacia and board-wide buffs is, it's been a very powerful game plan with for Demacia for a while, and we kind of see that same effect in Yordle and Arm decks. So we're looking at 9 mana, which is turn 6 at the earliest, and at turn 6, summon a 9/9, grant your entire board +2/+2 seems like a pretty good finisher in my opinion. Obviously, a vanilla 9/9 is not very strong in this game. A spider is just as strong as a 9/9, so I think that that's not the most important part, but I think if we focus on the secondary condition, that's going to be good. But it at the end of the day, it's a 3-mana 3/3 spell, fearsome blocker. I think it's fine. I think it's very flexible because spell mana in Demacia is very very rarely used. So I think this could be. The more I look at it, the more I like it. Actually, I'll be honest.
Okay, Jade, what do you think?
Really hard to kind of figure out if this card is going to be good or not, depending on how elites turn out. But I like the synergy. I like the synergy, and I like that it's a buff for elites. But that's all I can say for now.
Okay, I find it interesting to compare with like the reinforcements card. That's always 8 mana for 2 4/4s and +1/+1 to all your board or all your elites. And I guess this one has the flexibility. If you're like in an aggressive matchup, you just need a 3-drop or a 2-drop even. You can cast this on 2 or 3. And probably a better card than reinforcements. But in the late game, I usually would prefer 2 4/4s over 1 9/9. as an elite deck.
Yeah, of course.
Interesting card. Do you think the other card is...
I honestly.
You-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My question was if the Succession, the old version, the just 3 mana slow, summon a Dauntless Vanguard will ever see play again. If this card exists, probably not, right?
Yeah, no, probably not. I also don't think that this can be played at 2. I think that this is only a 3 mana spell at the lowest, and
No, but
that's
you
why they
can
showed
like
us that.
cast turn 1 and then turn 2 cast this with spell mana. As a 2 mana, like on turn 2, 3/3, not 2 mana, but
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about summoning a 2. Oh, yeah. I think a turn 2 3/3 is underrated.
like if you face Elise, for example, they just cry.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this stomps spiders and is gonna make interesting.
Surprisingly
I
good
don't know.
card.
The more I look at this card, yeah, I think it's interesting. I think the fact that it's flexible is going to be really powerful. Like I said, a turn 6 AoE board buff is kind of the meta that we're playing. I'd be surprised if this doesn't see any experimentation. Like right off the bat, I don't see it as a bad card,
Yeah.
like a garbage card. But it is an epic, so it's probably bad.
I think it's the more I look at it, the more I see it as like a win more card because like I'm never really gonna be flat out playing this. Like unless like I'm in a really a winning spot because if I play this like it takes up like all my mana and just one unit, you know. But definitely a win more card. But I think there's many better options, I feel. Like for Demacia is a card that like I can run also. So like it's definitely something. But yeah, that's the way I look at it now. Yeah.
I think it's also really good with Lux. Like with Lux, you usually want to cast Remembrance on 6. Just usually get a 5/5 out of it with random keywords, like a Screeching Dragon, for example, the Scout guy. And with this, you get a 6/6. And you can, if you really need to, also cast it for 3 mana. So if you have to play out your units early on with Lux, sure you don't get the elite buff, but I think this card will find a home in some decks.
Does the +2/+2 happen on the OK now with the new spell change? Not to get ahead of ourselves here, but does the board buff happen instantly before the summon?
No, it just has to resolve. So
Okay, cool. Okay.
that didn't change. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to add to this card?
So
Okay.
I think that's it.
And let's move on to For Glory. 6 mana, slow, Noxus spell, reputation, it costs 3, summon 2 Teferian Glory Seeker. Teferian Glory Seeker is the 2 mana 5/1 challenger can't block. And this is honestly one of my favorite cards. Teferian Glory Seeker. I wish it would be more constructed viable. It was a blast to play in expeditions. But maybe this card can work out in some decks. Just 2 times 5/1 challenger really destroys mid-range decks, is my opinion. What do you think?
Not a huge
Jade,
fan
you
of
open this
card,
one up.
to be honest. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this card to be honest because like by the time you can drop reputation, I feel that there are so many other good options or good cards that you can play. And even if you play it for 3 mana, you will at least you will still need a way to protect it, which doesn't feel great. Like so that's like 5 mana for 2 5/1 challengers that can block. Not great. That's the way I would look at it. I don't really like it as much. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting. I think that, even if we look at this card at its fullest value, 6 mana, that's a double float into a 4 mana unit swing on turn 3. So technically you're getting 1 mana spell for the price of 3 spell mana. And I think that Noxus doesn't mind making that trade. Especially that early. If you're double passing as Noxus and you can get 2 5/5s, that gets you halfway to reputation in 1 turn. And I mean, like Conan said, I honestly really, really like Pythagorean Glory Seekers. I've always thought that they were a really good card, and honestly, at the end of the day, I really like Reputation because I'm a Sivir and LeBlanc fan. Um, I want this card to be very good. And I think that 2/5/5s on turn 3 is kind of scary. I think that's scary, but
But they're going
right
to be
now I
five
don't think
ones.
Glory Seeker has.
Just adding to it, it's not going to be two
I'm sorry.
5/5s. It's 5/1s.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I misspoke. 2/5/1s. Yes. But what do you think, Conan?
Yeah, I fully agree. And I think there are a lot of combos. It can be kind of hard to fit in, but I think many people overestimate how hard it is to hit Reputation. Like if you just play a good curve, like Threshing Snapper, Glory Seeker into LeBlanc, and then you can even play this on turn 4 if you like attack or hit with LeBlanc twice, then you can play this on turn 4 for 3 mana. It's like of course the ideal curve, but I can see this having a home somewhere, and this is a card you can really underestimate. Plus it really fits the Noxus identity of using the spells to summon units. Like most slow spells either strike something or summon units, so that's pretty cool. And the double Marauder spell has been seeing play before in Reputation decks. Just 2/5/4s on turn 5 was decent. So I think this is a card you can underestimate. Maybe it sees no play at all, but I find it funny and cool.
Yeah,
I
I fully
would
agree.
I would
think
like I would like the card if it's at 2 HP. But at 1, it loses to a lot of things. Like Vow Feast, Go Hard, like control, any type of control, right? Which
Yeah.
doesn't feel great. Or you can just flat out lose to Avalanche also. So that's kind of the thing that I'm looking at. And I mean, and also there's a lot of other removal in the meta right now. So Ezreal, Caitlyn, you can lose to Ride, things like that. So for 6 mana, I don't think I would even play it. Like once I proc Reputation, maybe. If it's 3 mana, yes, definitely. It's something that I'll consider.
I think this card's terrifying at 3 mana. It's terrifying. Any 3 mana spell, I'm scared of just because of the way that the spell bank works in lore.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I think, like Conan was saying, I think that Reputation is a little bit underrated in how fast you can get it if you do things correctly. And I think that this card may be coming online a little, potentially, especially now with the LeBlanc changes and the other changes coming to the meta. Like, I think that this card might be coming on a little bit earlier than people expect. So,
and it's not really.
I'm going to be interested. I'll play it.
And it's not really the meta plays for Reputation to beat on control. Like historically, if you look at LeBlanc, you're not happy with playing LeBlanc into like Ezreal, for example, where just Mystic Shot did. You want to play like against the mid-range deck, like Pantheon, for example. They buff up the Dragon or the Saga Seeker, and you just kill it with a 5 attack unit. That's what Reputation shines against, and that's also the space I can see this card being played. But yeah, we will have to find out how it actually works. I like how they're showing like Mono Shirima getting beat up by it in the video. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks exciting.
Okay, and the last new card is Inner Beast, 2 mana burst. Give an ally +1/+1 this round. Create a stance swap in hand. So just a flexible combat trick in Freljord. Also, I think the second Freljord spell that actually pumps attack as well as health. The other one is like Spoils of War. Kind of new, 2 mana +1/+1. It's not really something Freljord has before, and you just get a free stance swap out of it. Just a really flexible, good card, I think. Not sure if you will run this in normal decks over Troll Chant, but I can see this having a place. What do you think?
I think it's a broken card. Like it's definitely a 3-off. It's a 3-off in every Freljord card. Even in control decks, I would run this as 3-off.
Control decks.
Yeah, I would. Like it's another.
Yeah.
You get a stance swap for it. You get a stance swap, and that's another form of board control. Or you can get
value.
Overwhelm. You can get Vision. You can get Yeah, I like it. And it's a 2 mana, so it doesn't feel bad. Like I mean, yeah. It's a lot of value.
I think 2 mana is a very funny place for spells in Legends of Runeterra. I think historically 2 mana has been a very very crazy mana point for combat tricks. Twin disciplines, sharp sight,
The combat.
single combat, make it rain. Like there's just so we've just seen throughout Legends of Runeterra that any spell under 3 mana has to be treated with a lot of care because they can get out of hand quickly. And I think this card is really interesting. You get a 3 cost. It's value. It's a lot of value, and I really think that with the other YouTube buffs that we'll be discussing later, I think this card will see play for sure. I think this card will 100% see play. +1/+1 in Freljord is really funny. Because, like you were saying, Conan, not too many attack buffs in that region.
Exactly. Really interesting card. We have to see if there's actually a home for it. Looking forward to testing this one out. Okay. Next card here. We have actually the normal card updates. And this is for Ashe now. The first champion change. And Ashe goes from you Frostbite 4+ enemies to you decrease 4+ enemies power to 0. And this works mostly with Shurima, where you have cards like Quicksand. And a lot of cards that show up, and if you go type in Quicksand, give an enemy -2, -4, -0. Funny enough, this also works with the Senna spell. So I don't even know how it's called. Stalling Shadows give all enemies -2, -0. So like Senna level 2, maybe a thing now with Ashe.
Wow. Spooky Ashe coming back?
Yeah, like Senna.
I guess I'm not playing in tournaments anymore.
Senna copying Winter's Breath. Fast speed Winter's Breath.
Oh, that sounds really gross.
Okay, what do you think about this change?
Yucky. I think that Shurima Ashe will be very toxic with how much the community currently hates Quicksand. I think a lot of people never played when Spooky Ashe was like unironic, and in a lot of lineups, I think
Sorry.
that there's a lot of what's up.
Yeah, you were saying something about a burst speed. Sorry, something. I kind of missed that for a while. What was there about? Burst speed, freeze or something? Sorry.
Fast speed Winter's Breath, the 7-mana spell that freezes your whole board. I have been experimentations with that before, but it's pretty broken. 7 mana, freeze your opponent's whole board at fast speed because it says kill on it.
Not fast speed right now, right?
Oh, because it says kill.
Yes.
Even if the first round doesn't. Wait. Even if it's not going to currently kill something, because it says kill on it, it gets accelerated?
Exactly, that's how it works. And there were like meme decks before, other streamers that did that. And it's actually not terrible because you can just like shut down a complete open attack with one single spell. And if you frostbite something, you just
Oh,
kill it.
gosh. That's very scary. I think that Spooky Ashe might be really scary right now. I don't know how strong SI Freljord control will be this upcoming patch, but if it's strong, I'm afraid of Spooky Ashe decks. I'll just say that. I think this change is interesting. I think it's healthy and makes sense because there's multiple ways to play the game right now, and it's not just frostbite.
Yeah, I like the. I mean, I think Wick posted something on Twitter about a Quicksand with Ashe. Yeah, I really like. I think that it's going to be really strong, and especially being able to play Shurima and so many like combat tricks, so many ways to decrease your opponent's HP. I mean, your opponent's attack. So yeah, it's really strong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how good it's going to be, but I think it's definitely at least going to be at least tier 2. The way I see it, tier 2 there.
I agree. Really interesting change, and now Ashe finally feels like having a second region to go with. Like the intended
finally
are just have never worked out. Like Ashe Noxus was the thing, but never with like Noxcry Arena, the card that was supposed to work with it, the landmark. But yeah, hope it works out now.
Yeah, I think that this really does bring Ashe into the modern era of Legends of Runeterra. It just provides her, like you said, a little bit of flexibility And I think that Shurima will bring a lot of protection tools that Ash needed. We're seeing the rise of San Diego, kind of being a dominating control and protective archetype. And I think if we're able to apply those sort of protective tools to a champion that ends games randomly, like Ash, and also don't they have that burst speed -2/-2/-2 attack spell in Shurima?
Yeah,
The spirit
-2
spirit fire.
Spirit Fire, yes.
If I,
Was that -2 and predict?
So I think that's really no, not that one. The Nasus
I know what you mean.
support
Spirit
card.
Fire.
Yeah, the full board one
Exactly.
where I think that's going to be kind of scary with Ash. If Shurima Ash becomes a thing, I don't think it'll be that healthy for very long. I'll put it that way.
Maybe Unworthy will finally see play. 2 mana slow, give an enemy follow -4/-0. If you have fewer mana gems, then your opponent kill it instead. How many of you knew this card
Yeah.
existed?
I knew
Oh,
that.
Silverfuse just played it, man.
Oh, it's
Silverfuse and Puffball. They just highlighted that card. That's okay. So Silverfuse is in LPP, right? So she's a league partner. So she knew, and that's why she was ready for the content.
Oh
She was
my
like,
God.
this card
Jesus.
Bro,
Okay, wait.
this card
Okay, buddy.
is
Oh.
okay. I was just
Okay,
trying to make a joke really fast. We can cut this part out.
it's fine.
We'll cut it out. We'll edit this out.
Okay, back to the topic. Well, let's move on to the next champion.
Do we have to? Can we just skip Darius? I love
important
Path of
change.
Champions bat chest.
It's not just how.
Okay, yeah. Next. Yeah, we don't need to talk about Darius. It's like the best change in the whole patch, right? Yeah, okay, moving on.
Makes Gorlift
Anyway.
unplayable now. Gorlift is unscalable. If you
Dude,
buff your
Gorlift-
Gorlift to a 20/20
You know-
and then you go to 30/30, it's like way harder to figure Darius. Actual implications here.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Well, no, 'cause it's
Okay. Yeah, so we all agree it's the best change.
starting health.
Yeah.
It's starting
totally.
health. It's starting health. It's starting health.
Okay. Galio.
Well, it
On-
gets 1 extra health.
it's
which
just
kind of makes
0,
sense.
9, 0, 10. I don't think it really matters that much, honestly. It's a buff. Like, I think maybe Galio Poppy can come back. I mean, Galio Poppy has been around for a while. With Garrett, with Demacia decks, I guess. But it's just one extra attack and HP. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about it. What do y'all guys think?
Just makes sense that he gets 2 stats as well. Just instead of +1/+1, +1/+1, +0/+2 because of formidable. Seems kind of just a normal thing. Doesn't really matter that much.
Just to be clear, his level 1 is 8 health.
Yes, it stays the same. But they were like feeling sorry for him
Okay.
because he just gets +0/+1 instead of +1/+1, so they gave him
Right.
+0/+2.
Plus 2 health. Right. No, that makes sense. Galio. Bad card. I don't know.
Yeah.
A bad archetype. Not good. I think maybe with the elites changes, maybe with the new cards, maybe the new Freljord spell is kind of crazy in Formidable, but I don't think that. I feel like Braum Galio was like interesting for a week. I feel like the Freljord Demacia Formidable archetype with either Braum or Poppy was okay. I think it's man, I don't know. I think it really depends on the meta. I guess it could be like really, 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 really frustrating if we're in like a mid-range meta. I think this archetype could maybe be decent, but
I think actually, I think it's either gonna be broken or bust the way I see it, because I think Braum Galio, the version with Yoro Smith, if I'm not wrong, the 2/2, yeah, it was pretty strong. So and especially with the Galio flip, you get a rally first time your ally takes damage, so that is definitely something. Depending on how the meta goes, if the meta moves into more mid range, and we'll be talking about the next card. So anyway, Garen, right? So if the meta moves in that direction, I think Garen will be really strong because of all the stats.
Uh-huh. Agreed. But yeah, not a big change overall.
Yeah.
Maybe in the meta he will find a place. Let's move on to Garen, who also on level 1 gets a new text, which doesn't actually get mentioned here. When I'm summoned, give other allies +1/+1 this round. So this is just for one round. This is not a better bannerman. And yeah, he also gets this effect on the second time, just a little small board buff, but definitely can matter a lot if you have a lot of units on the board.
I think it's really exciting that Garen is as good as that 6-mana scout card, Genevieve now.
I think he's still significantly worse than Genevieve, but
I don't know, man. That's a far stretch. Like, you ask me if I want to play Garen or Genevieve, I'll play Genevieve. Saying because there's Challenger.
it's one more mana,
But
so
he is 1 mana less,
it's something.
and you're attacking on odds, right?
I mean, I don't know, buddy. I'll play Radiant Guardian over this. It's, it's 5 mana 4/5. I mean, Regen's cute. I mean, like the +1 is cute, but nah, that's about it. Like I like. It's okay. I'm not exactly like super hyped about it.
You know what I think would have been fun is if his level 2 said, when you rally, give +1/+1 this round. So if you chain rallies in a turn, as Demacia wants to do, your board just continues getting bigger and bigger. I think that would have been so savage.
Yeah, that's broken. Let's not do that.
Yeah, but he's so garbage right now. We just said that he's worse than a fucking. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
he's
but
worse
that doesn't
than
mean
a
we
follower.
That doesn't mean we try to break the game.
I know, but I
Right.
think that means that we can explore how weak this changes, and that means that Garen is probably not going to be relevant still. Like, if we can say that Genevieve is strictly better than Garen, then we don't have to continue talking about Garen anymore. This change is irrelevant.
Well, it's not strictly better, it's 1 mana less, so maybe like a really swarmy deck wants Garen. It's not strictly better, but it's...
I mean, that is what Elite does.
Yeah, there is the Elite synergy. So I give you that. I mean, like that's something. Like I don't know how consistently you can flip Garen and
Okay,
Garen dies
but
and then you play it rarely. Yeah.
Okay, how about this? How about this? Okay, so we go Bird on 1, Bright Seal on 2, right? Sergio on 3,
Who's
Bannerman
Sergio?
on 4, Garen on 5. What?
Who's Sergio? Oh,
What's
Vanguard Sergeant.
Yeah.
I've
yeah.
never heard this name before.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm close with him, so I get to call him by his first name.
Okay.
But just
maybe
think about that curve.
Maybe I'll just play scouts. I think that works too. Right?
I feel like
scouts is faster and more removal
right.
and yeah.
Okay, guys. Here it is. Once again, we just take this card and we put it in Shurima, and so now we have Sandy Garen, right? And think about it. They have Desert Duel. They have all of the vulnerable. Like, dude, what about a gift for Garen? We have a gift for Renekton. What about a gift for? Oh wait, but you know what? At the end of the day, why don't we just play Silver Auction? You're right.
Exactly. I have to tell you a story really quickly. Today I was like hanging out in the big Discord when one guy was walking into the competitive talk, so not deck talk, competitive talk, and brought a list featuring Tahm, Kench, Galio, Bubble Bear, Formidable, and was like, how do I make this competitive?
Yeah, dude.
Slowly, step by step, turning his deck into a scout deck, like just really slowly, just adding more rallies, adding single combat, adding sharp side, removing Tahm Kench.
No sharp side. No sharp side. No sharp side.
Wig will find a home there. He enjoys the copium. So we'll let him.
I do.
We can
Love it.
you can enjoy. It's a safe place for you. It's a safe place. Don't worry. No one will judge you.
Yeah, so truly good
God.
for my mental health.
So yeah, Garen change will be
Oh my
making the players who want to play
God.
Garen feel a little bit better about it, but I don't think Garen will be tier 1 or
I
anything.
get,
Okay.
yeah, I at the end of the day, I'd be okay. So I'd be very surprised if Garen sees play after this change.
Yeah. Oh
There's some
my.
play, but
Um,
not that much play.
some play. I don't know, man.
Do we want to move on to Karma?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Karma
Yeah.
gets nerfed 2 times here. Uh, so the first nerf is that
Dolphin.
she now also spams your hand at the round end if she's level 2. So the level 1 text happens now on level 2 as well with the round end, create in hand a random spell from your regions. And while we're on the topic, I want to move forward a little bit because it's really important. The spells change how they work. Basically, play and cast effects will move together. We will talk about this a little bit more. But what basically this means is that Karma no longer works with Lux, no longer works with Heimerdinger, no longer works with any of these champions because copied spells will no longer activate Lux, will no longer activate Ezreal. So 2 nerfs for Karma here. What do you think about it?
Oh my God.
No,
Whoever that's playing Kawa in the next patch, send me whatever you're smoking, please. Please. I need it in my life. Just if you break masters with Karma, I'm done. You know, like I'm coming to you for every single day to learn from you. Like yeah. That's all I can say. Okay. I've got nothing else to say about this card.
You know what? I think, you were talking about this card in the, we were talking about this change.
You even start. Okay, yes, go ahead.
And I think
Yes, wait.
you brought up a very good point that, in Path of Champions, Karma is going to be just this insane engine that the AI gets to drop on one, and it's just going to be vomiting cards into the hands of AI. And I think a lot of Path players who are already very frustrated with the Karma path are really not going to be happy about this change. I'm honestly surprised that the dev team allowed that change to go through on the path side. I think on the PvP side, this card was already so irrelevant. We don't. Who gets enlightened?
Grappler.
To be honest.
Oh well, I think it's going to be great for Grappler. I'm excited to see all that content of him burning his top deck and not being able to do anything else with Karma.
Yes, you get all these awesome spells now.
Is Karma's just a treasure trash?
Yes.
But no discount. That's crazy. She's not treasure trash. She's just trash. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Nick. I'm done. I don't care about
But
Karma.
like, do you agree with me?
Boring
that this
card.
actually
Never interested.
Do you agree with me that it's actually a nerf, the round end effect over buff? Like, I'm not really sure about it. I think it's like medium. Sometimes it matters, but like Karma decks don't really run out of value ever, I think. So these random spells.
Literally.
Yeah. I think it's actually.
I don't think. Yeah. I don't think it's even playable.
Yeah, when you're enlightened with a Karma deck, you don't need random cards. You packed your deck with cards that you wanted to play once you got to enlightened. You don't need something random popping in, filling up your hand, and probably being unplayable. Like, literally, Karma will just be generating unplayable cards every turn for no reason.
I mean, it makes for good content. It gives you that. Like, winning with Karma, like, I don't know, man. Like,
You know what, Jade, you're right, and it's unfortunate to hear the APAC esports representative just fully admit that Legends of Runeterra is a casual game.
Oh, come on. Hey, look here, you little. That's not what I said. No, that's not what I said. Can't do that to me. Come on. Okay, anyway, moving on. Katarina,
got +1 attack on her level up. But you can choose where it goes. Creates a 1/0 cost fleeting Blade's Edge in hand. So you can deal 1 damage once more. I don't think this fixes any of the problems with Katarina.
Yeah, I don't know. The high levels of copium. It's content. That's about it. I don't know what else to say, man. Like, there's nothing else to say about this card. Like, I mean, it's cute that they're trying to like improve it, but it's still terrible, honestly. I see in meme decks. That's about it. Yeah.
I think this version of Katarina is just a strictly more weaker version of Gnar. I'd much rather have a Pokestick than a Blade's Edge, even if it's free. I don't think that Noxus really cares about getting to... Well, okay, so on turn 8, right, you play 2 Katarinas, you rally 3 times, and you get 2 0-cost pings. I guess at turn 8, if you're playing Noxus aggro, 2 0-mana pings is kind of spicy.
Well, if you're playing Noxus aggro and it's turn 8 and you didn't win yet, you're doing something wrong.
Something is wrong if you haven't win by turn 8. Like,
That's true. That's true.
I'd rather play...
because,
I'd
like,
play
you
Farron.
only can talk about...
I'd rather play Farron on turn 8 than Katarina.
Well, okay. Well, wait, hold on. Actually, wait. So Katarina levels on turn 3, right? She rallies for you on turn 4, gives you a ping. She rallies for you on turn 5, gives you a ping. And then you're dead because you didn't do anything else during your turns except for playing a fucking card that goes back into your hand.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
This is a worthless card.
Yeah, it doesn't fix any of the problems. Like, sure, you don't get as rushed down before if you just go all in aggro, but...
Like, look at this. They say, we are giving Katarina a slight edge, no pun intended, to clear our weakened targets to prevent chump blocking. They're implying that Katarina is only worried about 1 health chump blockers in a meta so full of pings that no one is running 2 health minions. Okay. LeBlanc. So happy about these LeBlanc changes. This rework for LeBlanc completely changes her. I can't believe the devs went so far out of their way for this crazy rework. So much new text on LeBlanc. What a crazy card they've made her into now. Such a huge difference. Huge rework.
I just have to warn you that so far in these podcasts, we've always been wrong about stuff. So like last podcast, we laughed about Mono Shurima being playable now. So maybe we are going to
Oh
be
my
wrong.
god. Oh my god.
Katarina Ezreal.
I hope.
Oh my god.
I hope they were wrong. Okay, wait. So keeping that in mind, okay, let me just rewind really fast. Let me rewind really fast. Okay,
No,
so
you don't
let's
get to
assume that
rewind.
we're no. Let's say that we're wrong. We're just going off the assumption that we're going to be wrong. So we said that Might of the Vanguard. I said it might be good, so it's bad. All right. Fleur Glory. We were excited about it, so it's bad. Inner Beast is going to be bad. All right. Ash.
I mean, we already know that
is going to be bad. Ash is going to be bad. Galio is going to be crazy. Garen's going to be crazy. Karma's going to be crazy. Katarina's going to be crazy. Got it.
I also like how they messed up the effect description of like half the cards so far. Like
Okay. Just looking at those 4 cards, right? Galio, Garen, Karma, and Katarina. How do those 4 cards coexist in the same meta? Like, just think about that for 1 second. I don't think that's ever happening.
I mean, look, those are, 3 mid-range champions in a game that doesn't have mid-range? I think that speaks for itself, right?
I mean, like, if I don't draw my champions throughout the whole game and I just play other mid-range units, I still can win. Just saying.
You think you can win still?
Yeah. Like, if I'm playing against a Karma deck and I just have like other mid-range units and I don't even draw Galio or Garen, I can still win.
Okay, but if you're playing against a Karma deck, you're playing Path of Champions. I don't care about this conversation.
well, it's
You wait.
on stream. Well,
Jeez. Okay, next. Yeah. Leona.
no,
Leona.
No,
Yes, I love
wait,
it.
no, wait, hold on. LeBlanc.
Yes, you missed one. I just want to point out,
when I level up.
One second. I just want to point out how they managed to not
Yes.
get any of the descriptions right so far. Like Ashe has the power smaller, decided being like big. Like if you look at the card, if you look at the description, Garen's description completely is missing. Venom summoned, level 1. Karma's description is wrong.
Mhm.
Casted again on the same targets. It says now copied with the same targets. Also wrong. Katarina says play rally while being Venom summoned rally. So also wrong. So like so far, 1 out of
Oh,
6.
Oh,
1 out of 6.
oh, wait. So you're telling me that Katarina is a play effect that goes on the stack?
No, it's just Riot can't.
I know,
doesn't what
but-
their own cards do.
But which one's correct?
The
The
one in the
play
picture.
effect rally?
The Venom
The one in the
summoned rally.
picture? Is that what? Okay.
It was changed in
are we
patch
sure?
like- yes, it was changed in patch like 1.4 or something. It's from play to Venom
Okay.
summoned.
Because it'd be really funny if they made her rally a skill effect and somehow made the champion even worse.
No.
That would be. Oh, well, actually, that might be a buff because then, the Jin Runeterra, he'll
Play
allow you
Jhin
to play
Katarina.
skills.
OP.
Yeah, you can play Jin Katarina because she has a skill now.
Well,
Why do they
moving
do
on.
that? Play rally.
Moving on.
Sorry, yes.
Wig has gone
Too far.
too far into the opium realm. Like we lost him.
I'm
That's it. It's gone. It's
I
done.
lost it today. I lost it today. Today was a very stressful day to me. I told you.
And it's done. At which point of the podcast do we kick him out? Just wondering. I'm joking. Okay. Yes. Anyway, LeBlanc.
Okay.
When I level up, and each time I see you deal 15 damage, create a mirror image, you already have 1, reduce its cost. Like it, but is it good enough? Not really. I think it's okay. It's okay. Like this is like a decent change compared to the last 4 cards, 5 cards. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think this makes decks that just want the mirror image, but just like, for example, Vigo, LeBlanc, just wanting to copy this ephemeral guy, LeBlanc Hecarim, even stuff like that, makes it much more achievable to actually play around and build around mirror image. And if you just have to also.
Sorry. Give me a moment. Did you just say LeBlanc Hecarim?
Well, somebody tried it before. And that somebody was me.
Oh god, we're losing. We're just this is how I die, right? Like I die of copium. God, I can't do this. Oh no. Oh Jesus.
Well, have you known that
Okay,
Hecarim
so-
buffs himself with his ephemeral? So, synergy.
Keck W.
Hey.
So when Riot posted the list of characters that they would be quote unquote reworking in this patch, they listed LeBlanc as one of the cards that was reworked.
No? They listed
Um,
as changed, not reworked, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure of that.
Oh, well, okay, I'm sorry. I guess there was a little bit of confusion and misrepresentation of the impact or the level of change that they were going to make. I know that they specifically highlighted her after they had used the word rework.
Okay, possibly
Or
maybe a confusion
major
with Katarina.
change.
I don't know. You're right, probably.
Hey, wait.
Yeah.
We
Well-
might be looking at this differently. Like the past 4
No.
cards may have just been for past couple champions, right?
I,
So there's got to
if-
be
if I
real
could just get
petrol
my point
somewhere.
across.
Okay, so go ahead. Yes.
I just wanted to highlight because they mentioned her specifically, right? And
Yes.
right after they posted that, I went to Twitter and I said that LeBlanc doesn't need a huge change to be okay. And one of the changes that me and many other people suggested was that she got a mirror image on Flip. I think this is a very good change. I think it really accelerates LeBlanc's timer. Instead of having to attack a second time after leveling up, the next attack that you get to make with your leveled up LeBlanc, you will have the mirror image available for you. So instead of having to wait 2 attacks after a LeBlanc flip, you now have it on the next attack token. And I think that increasing her kill potential is exactly what they needed to do for LeBlanc. In League of Legends, LeBlanc is an assassin who jumps in, smacks you in the face, and ends the game and kills you. And I think that's what LeBlanc in Legends of Runeterra needed to be, and I think that that's what this is. I know a lot of people want her to be some very flavorful, lore-heavy character that kind of mimics the no pun intended again, but mimics her lore of being this sort of deceiver who pretends to be everybody. But I think that that's kind of exactly what they're doing. Is LeBlanc is a low-key character who just smacks you, and that's it. She's that's it. And they call her LeBlanc for a reason. I think that this is a fantastic change for LeBlanc and for Reputation. I'm definitely going to be trying her out. I don't know. Reputation's been so bad that I hope that this is enough. But I do think that on Ruin Runner, on turn 6, that's a huge swing.
Yeah, I agree.
if
It's a
you're
great
able to-
change.
yeah.
Like, not going to. I don't have, you have to add much more. I really think this change is very good. Probably one of the best changes made in the patch. And I fully agree with you.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic change.
Jade, anything you want to say through LeBlanc, or are you moving on?
No, we're moving on.
Okay.
Good.
Now, with Leona, I just want to quickly read this description here. So he basically gets overwhelmed. Leona already has the Zenith Blade, so this just makes sense. And you all seem to like it when you accidentally shipped this before. Okay, so Leona has a card that's literally meant to give her Overwhelm. So making her have Overwhelm already so that the card that gives her Overwhelm doesn't make sense with her anymore. Makes sense. I just don't really understand this description. But I think Overwhelm is a fine buff. But the description is kind of...
Basically, the context is that like they actually released a patch with Leona for a while, and then it was actually a mistake. So like they accidentally released it. So yeah, that's why.
This first part doesn't make sense to me. So Leona has Zenith Blade.
Yeah.
Just give her Overwhelm already, so she doesn't need Zenith Blade anymore.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
so that you can play Zenith Blade on her followers, and you don't need to spend 3 mana on Leona.
Okay.
What's with the wording? Oh my, that's so. Oh my, wait. Let me just look back at some of the wording. So weird. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Malphite.
Oh no, what?
Sorry.
No, and I think that,
Yeah,
and I think that.
Leona. Sorry.
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that the overwhelm actually matters. Both in terms of gameplay and in terms of flavor. In League of Legends, Leona's passive helps her allies deal more damage, and I like that. Now Leona gets to take advantage of having 6 HP in Targon and is motivated to attack. I think that Daybreak is a very, very weak concept, and that they need all the help that they can get currently. I think right now, especially with the recent Aphelios changes that we recently received, Targon is on the brink of being at a very good place, which is really terrible for me as a burn player. But I think that this is a good step in the right direction for Daybreak. I think that it turns Leona from a champion that did nothing into a champion that attacks, and that is always something that I will advocate for in this game. I want champions to leave the bench, and I think that the most unhappy metas are ones where champions never leave the bench and you just slam spells to face. As a burn player, I'm saying that.
Mm-hmm. I
So
think
I don't know. I really like it. Go ahead, sorry.
Really quickly. I think I got it now. Leona already has the Zenith Blade, so she already has it in this artwork.
Yes.
Yes, now I get it. So okay.
Yes. She literally has the
Okay.
blade already. So why do we need to give it to her again?
Something
I think
can
that's actually,
see
when you put it like that, that's actually super cool.
Yes.
something I can potentially see is Leona ASO coming back if the meta is moving into more
Mono?
mid-range meta. No, like
Are you talking about like
like
dragons?
with dragons, with or maybe with single combat, sharp side, and all of that. Basically Demacia Splash. So I
Yeah.
can see that coming back with the mid range. If mid range comes back, that's definitely something. So with the
Yeah,
buff
this patch
Leona, I
definitely
think
looks mid
pretty
range.
strong. Yeah, I think it's definitely Leona will definitely have a place in the meta if you're moving into mid range meta.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be so crazy. I feel like we're going to see a lot of players, like especially on the I'm gonna make a meta call right now. I think Burn is really gonna be the counter meta right now. So I'm super stoked about that. I get to ruin a lot of players' day as a Burn player, but I think that Burn is gonna be really really interesting spot after this patch. I feel like looking at all these changes, it looks like we're going into a combat heavy meta. Maybe. We already have Mono Shurima being super strong in mid range, so hopefully the nerfs allow for other regions to be mid range and strong, but we'll see.
That's
Also one more thing.
Yeah.
Yasuo synergy. Yes.
nice.
Okay. Yasuo synergy. Let's go. Copium.
Nice.
We got this.
Okay, before we take meta calls and predictions, let's look at all the cards first, I would say. So, Malphite, also more Yasuo synergy, PogChamp. Now here's a play, and this one actually goes on the stack with a little circle. Play, stun an enemy on both sides. And this is as usual optional. Like with all the play cards, you can just play them without using this effect. But I think you would always want to use it, and I think this is actually a really good change. Because it just helps Malphite. Sometimes it's just one turn too slow to close out the games. This extra stun can be really helpful. What do you think?
I like the Malphite change. I was gonna say like 2 Leona, 2 Malphite, 2 Aso, but yeah, that's on.
I think it's a little too early to think about piles and ratios right now, Jade. I'm
just throwing this out there.
I'm just early for ratios.
And let me enjoy my copium for a bit, okay? Come on.
You wouldn't let me, so I'm not gonna let you.
I let you do it. Come on.
No,
That's
you
a
didn't.
lot of-
I think this is crazy.
But
Targon has a lot of
I like
stuns right now. I think giving Malphite a skill to play on the stack is something that we should be looking for in the game more often. I think stack play is like one of the best parts of Legends of Runeterra. I love interaction bat chest, but I do. I think that interaction is the most interesting part of this game. I think any champion that puts something on the stack, that's why TF was so fun for so many people, right? What a crazy card when you level that up. Turn 7, this card slamming down now, even if it's not flipped, he does something. And, maybe he's a 7-mana sentry, but I really think that this card's going to be crazy. I'm scared of this card.
I like it as well. Like I've lost.
So it's going to be bad. Damn it.
Before.
It's going to be so bad.
No. Literally, I'm like if I play Gauntlets and I see someone play Thalia Malphite, I'm already scared, and I will be even more scared.
Yeah. I just played Roji this last weekend, and even though I was on a counter lineup, facing his Malphite was the way that he was able to express himself with that deck was really scary. And I think in his hands and other good players' hands, this change will kind of take that deck over the top. We already see that Shurima and Thalia is very strong. Landmarks, I think, are kind of insane right now. So I do think that this might be the nudge that puts Malphite on top of the meta, and I don't know what that meta looks like in that situation, and I'm kind of scared of it.
Can I just point out,
scary.
Just think yourself back into when Shurima came out. Would you ever think saying Sandisk finally got nerfed and now we are moving into a Thalia Malphite meta? Would you ever imagine saying that in the future? It's kind of crazy.
Wow. Jeez, Legends of Runeterra has come such a long way. And imagine,
I don't think
just
we would even
complaining
dare
about
to tweet that. Yeah,
that's
okay.
Too hot for even me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you even dare to tweet it. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, who's going to tweet it?
What are you talking about?
No.
I've been playing lore since beta.
Okay. We still have a lot of cards to go.
So if I sound weird, I'm sorry.
We still have a lot of cards to go. We should move on a little bit.
Okay.
So,
Let's go. Okay, Nasus, Fearsome, bottom text next. He's gonna be fine. Anyways,
fine, yes.
Yeah, I like Nasus coming back.
It's a real big change?
Not a big change.
Not a big
change.
I like the reverts. Yeah. Cool.
I think the atrocity nerf is bigger.
Okay. But yeah, this is fine. Just
Yeah.
makes him a little bit more playable again. Not that much to cover. Nocturne, I've actually didn't read yet what it actually does. So it's just goes from player unit to summoner unit. Is that all? Wow. It's kind of.
Nocturne is strong. It's going to be really strong.
Scary. Okay, so I
What
have
does it
two
change?
scenarios that I want to float. Oh, I have two scenarios. Okay, Blighted Caretaker, giving -3 to the enemy board in one action, is kind of crazy. So, are we playing Nocturne Ash now? Is that the deck?
You still have to level him up.
Oh,
I'm all forgetting this.
That's true. He's impossible to level up. He is not a good card.
Like, I don't know how much Nocturne you played with non-Targon, but I've played Nocturne Anivia, I've played Nocturne Ari, and it's all terrible because there's like 3 Nightfall cards outside of Targon.
Stygian
Nocturne
Onlooker.
Malphite? Copium?
That is Copium.
What?
That's terrible.
Nocturne. Sorry,
Okay.
not Nocturne Malphite. What's that card?
Maokai.
Yeah. Maokai, yeah, Maokai.
So is okay. I guess we can accept that leveling up Nocturne is impossible currently, and that makes him really, really bad. But if we ignore that and we look at level 2 and we assume that somehow we leveled up Nocturne, right now level 2 Nocturne does nothing. Is really bad. He's really slow. You have to play cards from hand, and that passes action to the opponent very often and kind of gives them a lot of tools and opportunities to react to what you're playing. I think changing it to summon allows for a lot scarier things. I really kind of like the idea of playing a Risen Mist on burst and lowering a bunch of attack so I can get a burst speed open attack on my Allegiance SI deck because I love Fearsomes. I think that's really funny, but how are you leveling up Nocturne in that deck?
Yeah.
I think Nocturne level 2 is really, really funny with Sapling Toss, to get like a summon on the flip to get you kind of some minus attacks on the open. But those are all very cute situations for a champion that doesn't level up fundamentally. Like, they need to give SI, like just SI, more cheap. Like, I want to be able to level up. I want to play Nocturne on curve and have him leveled up. Like, the day that Nocturne can flip, you can play Nocturne from hand. Oh, you know what Nocturne should do? Because, like, to emulate his ultimate, when he levels up, if he levels up in the deck, he should summon attacking.
Like Chavin. Okay. Yeah. That sounds funny.
No, from deck.
Okay.
Because like his ultimate, he just
I get it.
slams
I
in.
League, but
I think that'd be really, really crazy.
That'll be
Wow.
broken, I think.
I'm gonna make that a custom card suggestion. Don't steal that from me. That's a clean one.
the most common suggestion for Nocturne was just make him level up with Fearsomes as well. Would you think this would be overpowered or?
I think it's okay. I like it. I like the fearsome synergy. I like it. But it depends, like, if we can level in deck, that will be broken. If he has to, like,
He does level in
see the
deck.
fearsome. Like, if he has to see the fearsomes to level, then
Yeah, maybe that's fair.
No, I think the fact that he levels in deck is already not enough. Allowing him to level with Fearsome or Nightfall attackers. Sorry,
can
that
level
was really bad
Fearsomes.
audio. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
yeah.
That's scary. No, I think that's terrifying. I think that's very scary. Precious Pet on 1 is a proc, and then Elise on 2. Oh wait, no, that's no, that's too much.
Probably.
I think he's weak right now. I love the idea of him summoning from deck, and then that means you don't have to draw him. I think that makes him crazy. If that were to happen, but I think that's the level of buff that he would need at this point still.
Yeah. But like Nightfall is fine, but this change doesn't affect Nightfall at all, right? Like Nightfall doesn't summon you, like Nightfall only plays units, it's just summons
No.
units.
Yeah, I think that Nightfall is best without Nocturne, unfortunately. He's just
what?
like a
Nightfall plus
worse.
Nocturne.
Yeah, he's worse than the 3-mana card, the Frenzied Skitterer.
Yeah, but you play both. Like, I've seen no Nightfall deck that
No, you
doesn't play
play-
Nocturne.
But I'm just saying that yeah, he's just so bad.
But he's not.
I agree that there's no Nightfall that doesn't
Yeah.
play Nightfall, but
Okay. I think yeah. Okay. Can we move on to the next card?
yes,
I
absolutely.
just want
Let's
to
go.
quickly
Let's go.
point out one last thing. You can actually level him up right now in
Yes.
Mono Shadow Isles with like Fading Memories and Two Stitch Onlookers. If you are really good at it, you can technically level him up when you play him, but don't. I did it
Yeah.
once. I did it
That-
once actually.
Yeah, that seems like such a pog hand. I
Yeah.
feel like if you nutted out that hard, like you're going to win.
Yeah.
You deserve to win. Like it's
Yeah. You're going to win no matter what your opponents did that game because your hand was just perfect.
Yeah.
But
like
I mean, that's
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Exodia.
I mean
I want Exodia in League of Legends. I can't wait. Excuse me, in Legends of Runeterra. I can't wait for a card that says, "You have 5 pieces of me. Win the game." Like that's just we need that now.
I mean,
Vandal 3, if you have 10, you win the game. So
yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. And Xerath is literally like the obliterate thing is just a meme for Exodia. Like Exodia obliterate, Xerath obliterate. That's why it says obliterate. It's just kind of a meme.
Oh,
already.
Gosh.
okay,
It's-
and
that's
now
awful.
to something on a little bit of not as much copium or Scion.
Yes.
I think it's going to be strong. Like it's going to be a bit stronger, but I wouldn't say it's broken or anything. I think I like it.
So excited.
I like it.
I really like
Like
this
Scion very
card
much.
as a concept. I enjoy discard decks. As I've said earlier, I like champions that attack, and Scion lets you attack twice. I used to play a lot of Draven Scion when he first dropped, and I think right now we're at a very funny place, especially with the fact that we're discussing moving into a mid-range meta. I think that is still a meta where Minimorph is not good, and so that means that Scion can be good. So I think that we're going to be at a funny place where Scion might be good, but I don't know if he's going to be good enough to warp the meta around him again like he was previously.
I think this change is pretty much reacting to like the community voices of like, why are we nerfing Scion now? He was fine. Now they're like, okay, we're giving him one step back.
Man, I really wish I was mad when Scion got nerfed because the game was going to change anyways with new cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to see him reverted, but the idea that Riot is conceding to community outcry just as a concept is not something that I want to believe is a true.
It would be
Like,
good for them to just like plan these out and just be like, okay, we nerfed Scion 2 stats, now we give Scion 2 one step back. Like, why would you plan this that way? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they thought that Scion was still going to be too strong with the new patch of cards, and then after all those cards dropped, he wasn't.
Possibly.
Yes. Moving on.
Yes, move on.
Yes.
Udyr, big change.
Yes.
New level up, actually a rework from you've damaged enemy Nexus 7 times, which never made sense, to you've played Stance Swap 3
No.
times this game. Really, really cool. And also +1/+0 on both sides. 5 mana 5/4, 5 mana 6/5. Really, really essential change. Now he actually works with
Yeah.
himself. Really cool.
Yeah, and I think with that 2-mana spell, I think that's really spicy. Putting that 5 attack makes him a reputation procker,
But crazy.
and I think that
Okay.
I think that 5 attack is such a huge stat line in Runeterra. So I think that this change is actually kind of big, and his level up is crazy
Mm-hmm.
This is
because he levels up in deck.
yeah, it does.
Like Aphelios.
He's going to be dropping leveled every single game.
Easily one of
On
the
5.
best changes in the patch. I feel.
Yes,
Or
absolutely.
the best.
Well, it's the big. It's
Yeah.
definitely the biggest. It's definitely the biggest. I think
No, the biggest is Terran
Conan
as we
said
have
that it
it.
was a rework. Oh, cool. Okay.
Okay, we'll get
Champion
to that
change.
later.
Card changes. Card changes. Card changes.
Well, how do you find that?
change.
But okay, I give you that. The card change is
Yeah.
really the biggest, yes.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
I'm talking about like the balance changes. Yeah, sorry. Anyways,
Yeah.
individual card changes. I think this is the biggest one currently, at least the ones that we discussed out of the past champions. What does his level 2 do? I don't even
It
know.
might be too. It might be too strong, actually. I don't know.
Mm,
It scares me. Like Udyr kind of scares me now because of the stat buff and the ability to level up quicker.
Oh,
Is it?
wait. Has he always had that second part of the text on his level 2? I
Yes.
have +1/+1 for each stance you've played this game.
Yes.
That's always been there.
yes.
Oh,
But you never saw him level before
'Cause that's like the only-
because it's weird.
That's the only thing that his level 2 has, right? That's
Yes.
different from his level 1. I feel like the stances are so strong that they might. Is Udyr going to be good?
I hope so.
Like, does it matter if he levels up? Like, you just get a taller and taller unit. I guess if you're giving him overwhelm, right? And that's exactly what you want. Is for an overwhelm unit to just get bigger and bigger.
But like, don't you just still lose to any combo deck like Sandisk, for example, even if it flips on turn 8, for example? Like, I'd have just never
Yeah,
been
I
too
don't.
hype on these big value cards.
I really don't know if this even matters.
Mm.
I played against somebody recently. They were playing like this weird like aggro Udyr deck, and they dropped Udyr on curve, and it was the first time I've ever seen that champion level up in game. And then I won the next round. And then I played against them the second time. I queued right into them, and then they didn't play Udyr, and then they beat me.
Sounds about right.
So
it's hard to say.
just because he's leveling up faster, he still doesn't do anything once he levels up.
Well,
You have to strike twice in order to have a 0 mana spell. You're giving yourself a 3-cost spell. I still don't see it.
We'll have to find out. Well, like, we were hopeful, now we're not hopeful anymore. kind of switching
we'll
around.
see. We'll find out. We'll just look around and find.
I saw it as a big change. Like it is fundamentally a larger change for him than any other changes before on these other champions that we've been discussing. But also, I don't think it's big enough. I guess fundamentally, I don't think it's a good change. Good enough a change. I think he's still going to be weak.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, next card here, Vladimir. Fearsome now. I think this is really fitting to his character and also his gameplay, because you don't really want Vladimir to be blocked by random stuff. He's like this big scary vampire, and yeah, you just don't want it to be like jump blocked over and over. So I think Fearsome actually helps him in his game plan. It is a change that makes sense. What do you think?
I like it. I like it. I like it. I think Vladimir deserves this. Like, really needs this. But I'm not sure how good it's gonna be. But 5 mana, 5/5 fearsome with regen. I guess. Yeah.
That's fine.
So I don't see it being played in any other deck, to be honest. Other than what's that? I don't remember the deck. What's the deck?
Scargrounds, you mean?
Scarground?
Yeah. I haven't even seen Scargrounds in a long time. Yeah, okay. That's all.
You know,
That's why
I
forgot.
think I don't mind Riot just slapping keywords, offensive keywords on champions that were previously blank.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this change, Fearsome, just like the Overwhelm change, is a change that motivates Vladimir's to attack more often. And it helps mitigate getting chump blocked. I think that means that he's either going to die in combat or level up.
Hmm.
And I think that puts him at a very scary place when you're forced to. Because Vladimir getting chumped was like the problem, right? Like, you just put a 1/1 in front of him and he's okay.
Hmm.
But now you have to sacrifice a 3 attack. I think it's a big change. I really think that keywords are strong.
I think so too.
You know,
Especially on the level 2, like
think
how often
keywords
do
are
you have
strong.
like a 6 attack unit that can just kill him? You have to either chain 2 together. But you
right,
can't just
right.
take him over
You have to
and
kill him
over.
in one turn.
Yes.
I'm fine with keywords as long as it's not quick attack plus spell shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two keywords that let's not go there. That's not good. But the rest of the
Quick
keywords I'm fine.
Plus spell shield,
Yeah,
specifically quick attack. And so you're just talking about Sever.
yeah,
Or like a Garen buff.
Yeah.
Garen should have quick attack.
yeah. If anything with quick attack is scary, honestly.
Yeah.
Like even if
I
Vlad
mean,
gets
yes.
quick attack, pretty scary.
No, I mean, yeah, but I mean that's why quick attack's a good keyword because it promotes attacking. And I think fundamentally, because Runeterra is a defender's advantage game, offensive players need to have as many tools as possible. And I know that's a hot take, but there's already so much inherent power in being reactive in Legends of Runeterra. That's why the pass is so strong. That's why blocking has priority. Playing reactively is better than not playing reactively.
We're getting into deep philosophy terms here.
Because okay,
Okay,
the
well,
way I see it, like
I
for
like
quick
the
attack,
change.
I'm fine with quick attack.
Vladimir
But
gets to attack.
the one
Okay,
thing that
okay.
the it's because
We're-
of the
we're talking
synergy
about-
with it. Like if you have the ability
Jade.
to protect something with quick attack, that is very scary and very hard to deal with.
I agree with Conan. We're getting off the topic of
Okay, anyway,
Vladimir and talking about Legends of Runeterra overall.
Okay, moving
We
on.
have still a lot of cards
think
to
we
cover,
can-
like you underestimate.
ambush.
Yeah, sorry.
Ambush, now
Ambush.
better in Tri-Beam
Oh.
Israel decks. Now you can actually play with
ambush
your
is-
Israel and Tri-Beam. So very good change, very good buff. No, just
Ambush is
kidding.
dead.
Big buff. Big buff.
Ambush is dead.
Ambush is
Okay,
dead.
I think ambush is dead. We're
What?
moving on.
Ambush is dead? One
Why
man?
would you play
Ambush is
ambush
dead?
when you can play
Sunworks,
the
yes.
somewhat? Yeah.
Oh, I totally forgot that there's they raised the condition as well. I think they didn't need to raise the did they not even mention that in the they only put the cost change here. What's wrong with that?
What?
Wait, it's
It
only the
doesn't-
cost change? What?
It doesn't range any.
Did they raise the conditions? No raise conditions.
sorry?
What do you mean?
What is?
There's no
What are you talking
conditions
about?
raised. What are you talking about?
You have to add 2 cards to your hand.
Yes, that's
Is that what it always
like
was?
this. Yes.
That has always
Okay.
been there.
All
That's
right.
always been there.
Like
Yeah.
the card in your
Okay, I
hand
thought-
counts. Like the card you draw at the start of your turn counts. So you just
The
have
draw.
to add
Okay,
extra
okay.
one. So it's like works
Yeah.
the same, but it's like the text was always there. So yeah, just
Okay,
a nerf.
For some reason, I thought
moving-
they.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
We play Sunworks.
Moving on.
Moving on. Ballistic Bot.
Yeah, somewhat net. Yeah. So, but ballistic board, I think it's fine. I like it at 0-3 now,
Ballistic
like, but I think you're never blocking with ballistic board anyways. You know, in the decks that you run it, so it's fine.
Yeah,
The one attack doesn't
Ballistic-
really matter.
and especially
Ballistic
like,
bot stays on the bench.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But like against Burn, for example, it could matter if if they attack you for 2/1 with, I don't know, deal damage to you, then you can't
Mhm.
block your ballistic bot on turn 2. That seems to matter. Or like a Nightfall or
I
something.
mean,
I don't know if you do that
Hmm.
before, but didn't play much Victor.
in that
Yeah,
matchup, like you're unfavored anyway, right? So not great. I mean, it's cute to be able to block the 2-1, but like if you're playing against the aggro, I don't think you're winning that matchup. Yeah.
Now you're winning it even less, so that's good.
Yeah.
I think ballistic bot is still a very good card.
Yeah, it's definitely playable
Yep.
in this decks. Like just a minor change makes them a little bit slower to get going. Doesn't hit you for 9 on turn 2
Yeah,
or 4.
I'm a burn player. It's still a very good card.
Exactly, still playable. Good. Next card, Blood for Blood, is now Burst. Now the second card after Iceborne Legacy, changing Burst. I think that's totally fine. and it
Yeah.
removes a little bit of interactivity, but this card was just never seen play, so who cares?
No.
It's fine.
hmm I think this is fun because now it kind of gives you an iterative in Noxus, which is very scary with LeBlanc and Reputation decks. You can just like burst, speed, duplicate a Rune Runner, and I think that's really spicy.
Yeah, but it's still very worse than iterative because it doesn't give +1/+1. It doesn't target your enemy followers.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's followers only? Bad. Oh
yeah.
wait, no, so it's iterative. Never mind.
Yes.
I think it's okay. I don't know. I'm excited. I love speed changes
Yeah, I
for
think
spells in
it's
this
fine.
game. I think those are the best ones.
That's why one of the worst cards in the game, so changing it is definitely good.
Mm.
Okay, the big one, Buried Sundisk, now only advances by 9 rounds instead of 10. This means-
Yes, thank you, Riot. I love you, Riot. Okay, yes. Anyway, moving on.
This means that
Yep.
it will usually flip at turn 7 or 8, so not that
That's
fast.
good.
Not on turn 6 anymore, unless you include like the Esteemed Hierophant or whatever it's called. But don't think anybody will do that.
Yeah.
So I think Sundisk will get worse, hopefully, and doesn't dominate the meta anymore. Like, it didn't really dominate that much. Like, it's a whole other discussion if it was that good or not that good. But yeah, Balance, you seem to be Balance. Jade, you seem to be happy about the change, so that's good.
I am.
Great. Vic,
About time.
anything you want to add about Sundisk?
I think Sundisk leveling up a little bit slower is obviously very good. You know, you want to have these game-ending effects happening a little bit later to provide players with a little bit more space to get their own game plans in, rolling.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, Monastery has been very, very polarizing and has had a very, very high play rate because there's a lot of role players in this game. Happy to see it nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how impactful it is. I think we're going into a mid-range meta, so maybe it'll still be fine.
It will still be playable, I think. But yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Catalyst Bound Crusher receiving its second balance patch. Anybody of you knows what the first balance patch was?
I got 1 HP.
No idea.
Yes. 100 points for Vic. It used to be a 6/3, but got buffed specifically for Expeditions. The only card in the existence that got ever buffed for Expeditions. And now they're buffing it for Constructed. Look at that. So now Reputation costs 2, Reputation costs 3, and then I'm summoned, grant me Overwhelm. So 4 mana 6/4, then a 3 mana 6/4 Overwhelm. That's quite a lot of attack for an Overwhelm unit.
So you're getting
a Rune Runner,
3
basically.
cost 6/4, 3 cost
Rune Runner.
6/4,
I like
4
it.
cost 6/4. Vanilla 4 cost 6/4. Never playable before Reputation. Reputation. How much faster is Reputation now? Do we think that it's fast enough for this card to be good? Because I mean, Overwhelm is really good.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. So, and I don't
That's
think
a
it's
lot of
never
damage.
playable. Like 6/4, that's a lot of stats. That's 10 stats. That's a Garen basically. So it's not like nothing. It's not like
Yeah.
you play this down your opponent loves. They still are like, oh my god, that's a lot of
Mhm.
stats. But
Yeah. And I think in a region with so much vulnerable synergy, having Overwhelm, being able to like
I would
give
play this in a
vulnerable to a very
Shurima aggro deck.
low health.
Yeah. I would play this in a Shurima aggro deck.
I think so too.
Aggro.
Yeah.
Aggro. But is aggro hitting Reputation? Because it doesn't have Overwhelm without
it-
Reputation.
Oh,
I
it's
didn't,
only with Reputation. Ah, okay. Then that's different. Okay. Then maybe not.
not an
yeah.
aggro deck, but like a mid-range deck, Sivir for example.
Yeah, I
Really?
think I think it really depends on how good Reputation is. I think this card will only be good if Reputation is decent. I think if Reputation isn't good, this card isn't enough to put it over the edge. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's either unplayable or it's good in Reputation. That's the only way I see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on. Yeah,
Now,
here.
huge. This
Yeah.
is huge.
Okay.
Oh, new card.
Let's actually
Yes.
like talk about what it does
It's the
first.
old card.
One second.
New
it's now-
card.
It's now changed from the 1 cent swap costing 0 now the first stance swap you play each round costs 0. So Yaorzia has this aura now. Not only the one it creates costs 0, so but everyone each turn. And I think this is a big change. Like get a 6-mana 7/7 usually, or a 6-mana 5/7 regenerate, and then it discounts all your stance swaps. That's just great.
I think that the fact
Um,
that they made this give so you're getting a discount every turn. I think that's huge. This is coming online right after Udyr. We just established that Udyr will be flipping on curve most likely. So we have this card coming in right after, making you have a stance card in hand when this is coming down, 100%. So you're discounting that, and I think they just added another stance generator to the game, so that's just going to allow you to use this card even more frequently. I think this is a bigger change than Udyr when it comes to this archetype.
Mm-hmm.
This is yeah, I like it. I think if we're moving more into mid-range meta, it's going to be really interesting. So it's going to be who has like bigger stats, and also about the combat tricks. So I really like this. Like I like metas where there's actually like more interaction, and it's not just playing your own game plan, and just winning. Yeah, feels good.
Oh,
I like it.
I had one meta question really quick before we move on. Is used cast salesman good or bad in this upcoming meta? Because if there's enough overwhelm, used cast salesman is worthless. But the only reason right now that used cast salesman is good is because we are in a board-based meta with no overwhelm. The moment that overwhelm is back in the game, used cast salesman can't survive.
Not true. Cost. I think burn.
I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of overwhelm in the game right now. I think there's a lot of over the type.
If there's a lot of overwhelm in the game, means that aggro will be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we can go super wide, and and they don't have any ways to interact with our.
But they have avalanche, and they have the 1/1 stance change that does one to everything.
If you're playing like a more mid-range or overwhelm like game plan, I don't think you would run avalanche. Ice Shard maybe.
You do that.
Avalanche is a stretch.
Ice Shard.
Yeah,
Ice Shard.
Yes, but like Avalanche, no, Avalanche is a stretch.
Isn't Ice Shard just
Ravine is a
redundant? Why would you play Ice Shard if you have stances? Like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
yeah, you have stances.
That's that. But like, yeah. Besides that, I think, but that's like you get stances maybe after turn 5, unless you play the 2-drop. That's maybe you get stance swap on turn 3.
You have the burst spell.
It's interesting.
Now.
It's interesting. I think like aggro definitely.
I think that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Aggro's definitely.
Let's move on. Before I'm sorry that we start talking about the meta again. Let's move on. Swift Wing Lancer becomes an elite.
It was
just, I guess.
Yeah, it was a change
That's
for
fine.
expeditions. It would with destroying expeditions, if it like creates an elite, it creates itself. It would have been too strong, but now it can create itself. I think maybe it doesn't. Like they said, they change it.
Infinite value. I don't.
Like some cards can't create themselves. Some cards do. Like the Crimson guy, the 3/3 Crimson Curator can create itself. Other cards like Loping Telescope can't create themselves. Really confusing. So maybe it can create itself.
I think it's random. I think if it's random, it can create itself. If it is a manifest or like a selection, it won't offer itself up for the selection. But if it's random, I think when you talk it out, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Never thought of that like way. But yeah, small buff doesn't really change the card that much. Like,
I think it's fine. I think elites need as much help as possible. Like we've been saying this about Formidable. We've been saying this about Loki Fearsomes. We talked about that. All of these keyword-based archetypes that were very okay. At the beginning of the game, when the game was a lot less complicated, are just not anything nowadays. So any help that you can give it just does not matter. It's fine.
Exactly.
It's not going to break the game. It'll be okay. Just do it.
Yeah.
If it goes crazy, like this change isn't gonna break anything. It's fine.
Yep.
Banditry.
Mhm.
Holy shit.
Thank you, Riot. Finally.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
More-
this is like the second time I'm saying it in a patch. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Banditry is dead.
Yeah. I like how they
I
didn't
think-
change the image. Is the image for you also the 5 mana thing still?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. So it's 4 mana now.
Riot needs to work on that.
And you have to
Right.
win if they've seen units from 10 regions summoned. So you have to play Banditry first and then summon 10 units from different regions. So yeah, Banditry is dead.
Yeah. Banditry dead.
Yes. Finally. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think why I wonder why they did this.
I wonder
Do
why.
you think that
meta.
people were just
Mid-range meta, otherwise
it's just too
mid-range
miserable,
deck.
right?
Not just they don't want a strong combo deck in the meta right now because they want mid-range decks. If you just have a deck that wins by turn 8, turn 7, and good mid-range decks can't really exist. Like slower value mid-range
So I
decks.
guess they're just saying that Banditry has been really great since it dropped with Bandle City, and we don't mind launching this card into orbit so that no one plays it ever again.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't
Okay.
say no one plays it, but
I think it's still okay.
I
in
definitely
some
still see it
decks.
being played in some decks, but maybe not in a competitive. Maybe
Exactly.
How
ladder,
do you-
yes.
Okay.
But
What
yeah.
is the earliest now that this card is winning you the game?
I think it can still win you.
You have to
like-
play 10 regions?
Yeah, but it's pretty easy in like a dedicated deck. Like, I think you can still do it by turn 9 or 10 or so. It's not really that hard.
If you're playing in a region with no removal for the Bando tree, like
Oh my god,
Yes, I
it's
think
so
I still
vulnerable.
see.
Oh my god. Oh, I
I can
didn't
see-
realize that it's so vulnerable.
yeah, Like, if
Yeah,
you
that
put a-
was I think
like,
where a
if-
lot of the strength was.
yeah. Like if it's gonna be a mid-range meta, I can see that being played, but not as like a win con, perhaps, but more like just a way to kind of like stall the game and go and maybe win on a big turn.
Yeah.
You know,
And also, it's just like a
No, I
very
don't-
strong value
I think-
card. Like 4 mana, draw an extra card each turn. Like, even
Yeah.
if it's random, that's just also like value. Even if you don't win the game with it, maybe some decks will just want like there was a magic card.
Oh,
some
that's
time ago.
interesting.
Just 4 mana,
Right.
draw an extra card each turn, and it was insane. But
Wait. Okay, actually then. Okay, if we just reshape if we pivot how we look at this card, right? Where in the past it was Exodia, right? You
Yeah.
got your pieces together, you played it, and then it ended the game. And now it is this
utility tool.
OTK, but also actually a generator, because you have generator. It has to give you values. It's a value generator that it provides some inevitability to Bandle City. Interesting.
The
You know,
the one card that I will compare it to, right? I will compare this the nerf version to will be Catalog of Regret
yeah,
in SI. Yeah, I will compare it to that where you can like generate value for your spells. So for this, like I would say it's just generating blockers and units, especially if it's going to be a mid-range meta. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of ties in. Like the total random, like just on paper idea for me is Bando City SI, where like playing this on turn 4, you have your remover from SI plus you have units from that. I think and maybe Atrocity top end. I mean that's something. I mean like
that's
Ledger's
really good.
Atrocity top end. Yeah, that is definitely
Yeah.
something, especially against a mid-range deck. Yeah,
What if
I can see.
give our Bandle Tree? What if we just gave Bandle Tree spell?
Sorry, you're kind of low volume. Hello, Wait.
Oh, hello.
yes,
Can you
now
hear
I hear you.
I will hear you.
me? Is that better?
No,
Yes.
it's not really better.
What?
You need to be a little bit louder.
Bluetooth is messing up right now.
1 second.
Tree spell shield in Shurima, and then you're able to protect this value generator in a region that's already good at facilitating sort of your win cons. I think if we shift away from that Battle
Cool.
City being
TK game finisher and turning into an alt, truly an alternate win con to decks that would also be winning in other ways. I think that's healthy, and I think that's really funny actually.
But my point
Allow
is,
more.
like, my point is not really seeing it as a win con anymore, but just we play this swarmy aggro deck like Noxus and Banner City, and you just have a bunch of units on the board and attack, and you just drop this as value card later on. Like the old Zoo decks in Hearthstone used to play Jeraxes, like the 9-mana card just makes a bunch of 6/6s. So just if you have playing a deck with a lot of avalanches, just slap this down and then you just get more units each turn and have to deal with the value as well as the just boards from, even if you don't like win on turn 9, 10 or something.
Yeah.
They just have infinite units and you can't really run them out of value. I like this.
I think that I really do as well. I think that it's really, really nice that they moved away from Banditry being the sole win condition of a deck and turned it into a win condition in a deck.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I think interesting. I think hearing all that, I think it's gonna be interesting because if there's gonna be a lot of mid range, that means that there'll be a lot of Ruination decks or control.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Bender Tree and also where was it? And Sandis are two decks that I can see that will beat that you can put together to beat a control lineup. So that's something, I guess. So I think it still can be played depending on how the meta goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's dead.
Yeah, I think.
But more healthy.
No, I don't think so.
Sorry?
I think it was an elegant change from Riot.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah,
I think we can quickly go through
2 more changes.
I think it was
Okay.
Yeah.
2 more changes, and then we have like a few other cards to discuss. The rule changes.
There's still a couple new cards that they changed. They just updated recently on Twitter. Actually, if I shared the link
Wait
in
there.
the.
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. So Vanguard Squire first costs now from 4 to 3, so it's a 3/3 for 3, and if you play some elites, it gets cheaper. So maybe playable now? Question mark.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a turn 3 0-mana card.
Possible, yes.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's strong, but I like it.
Okay.
Hey, a 0-mana 3/3, cool. Yordles in Arms.
Yordles in Arms actually got changed in 2 ways this patch. First of all, it doesn't get +4/+4 anymore, but only +3/+3. And because of the play to cast change, it should now also work with attached units. Before, if you attach your units onto cards, it wouldn't count towards Yordles in Arms, so Yuumi wouldn't be playable in Yordles in Arms. Now with the change, it should work with Yordles in Arms.
I think
Yordles
Yordles in Arms is the deck that has been kind of being pushed out a bit of the meta already. I've seen like less players playing Yordles in Arms, so I would say this is a good nerf.
Mm-hmm.
But I might see Yordles in Arms completely drop off even, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like a, for Demacia now, kind of boring effect, so maybe people don't play it as much.
Yeah, I think that, kind of like the Banditry, I think it was one of these cards that competitive players especially were very tired of seeing. Across the board, I don't think that the play rate ever really was as high as it should have been with how good this card was, I'll be honest. I think that this change, coupled with the patch that we had a month ago, I think that Yordle in Arms was already, like Jade said, declining. I think this solidly will put it out of the minds of a lot of people while still being a decent card that will probably see not enough play rate.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Okay, so I got a live update from Jade that actually 2 more cards get changed here. Dragon's Protection, spell change from slow to focus. Who knows what this card is actually from? It's from Scales of the Dragon,
Protection.
the 3-mana 4/2 Ionia card. It's Scales of the Dragon, and it's just like now focus. Really big buff to Lee Syndex in Path of Champions, but
Yeah.
Champions.
Not a good card.
Yeah, now it's a little bit more playable. Maybe it finds a home now with
Maybe.
this being focus speed. But minor buff, I would say. Still don't think you want like a 3-mana 4/2 necessarily. And bigger one, I think, Shadow Apprentice, pretty cool. When I'm summoned, grant me +1/+1 of an ally's ephemeral. Now it actually says effect change to when you summon an ephemeral ally, give me +1/+0 this round. So basically it becomes a second Greenglade duo, but only for ephemeral units. I think this is actually really cool.
Yeah, I think Ephemerals, like every other keyword that we discussed, just needs any amount of help that you can get.
Okay, so 2 minor changes that also will make their way into the patch. But yeah, cool. I'm fine. Okay, we have 2 big things to discuss here. Following it up, the burst pass change. So basically, there are no burst passes anymore. So if you play a burst spell, you can't like click OK, and the opponent has to display something or give priority back to you. It's a little bit complicated. How if you never heard about burst passes before, you can just watch this video, which explains it kind of well, I think. But what is your opinion on this change? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I think that it removes moments of griefing from the game where people could fill their hands with gems, rope every turn, play 1 card, pass, and really be toxic. I think that burst passing has never been anything, and anybody who says that burst passing was good for the game is full of themselves. Obviously, open passing and burst passing invites opponents to misplay, but I think hard passing is still going to be one of the biggest points of skill expression in this game.
Mm-hmm. Jade, what do you think?
Gotta disagree with that. I think burst passing is important in this game, especially coming from a competitive player point of view. Like I think being able to burst pass is huge. Like the decision make the like you said, like being giving the opponent priority for them to misplay. I don't really like this change at all. I don't think they needed to change this, so not a huge fan of it. Yeah.
Okay, I think we could like discuss a whole video about it on this change alone, like what it means for competitive play. We might do it in the future. For now, I will also just give my 2 cents that it confused a lot of new players. I originally was really confused how this works. Never really understood how burst pass works before I got into like videos before, and when watching new players recently, they were just like sitting there waiting for something to happen, and then they were like, oh, I have to click OK again. Why do I have to click OK? And also in Path of Champions, you have to just click a lot less if there's no burst passing happening. And like I can see the competitive aspects of it, but I think you still can express your skill by just normal passing, and don't think it kills control or anything, because most control decks don't play or not even play burst spells. Because like if you look at Darkness, Ezreal lists, etc., they don't even play burst spells. It stops more like Shellfolk decks, which are annoying as hell anyways. So just playing passing
can I
up
just-
rank.
I have a point. I have a second point as well. Yeah. So Jade, if you want to get your second point in.
You go ahead first.
Wait 1 second. So I think it has its downsides, but I think most people overestimate. I've seen like takes like control is dead now. Riot wants to remove control from the game. I don't think it's that much.
That's a ridiculous take. That's a terrible take.
I think it's okay. I don't think they had to allocate resources to it, but it's fine. So Jade, you take first, and Vic, you take, and then we can move on to the other thing, because we can like make a second episode on this.
Question. Yeah, I actually have a question just to touch. So with this change, if I play Warning Shot, how would that work? So I play Warning Shot, and then like it's just gonna be on the stack, and you're like resolve, and then I have to pass back, or how does that work?
No, if you play Warning Shot, it just happens. And then if you can play another card, if you click OK after Warning Shot, then your opponent can pass.
So I can't Warning Shot pass. Is that right?
Yes,
you will, and then your opponent can end the turn. Or end the round, excuse me.
Is that how it works?
Yes.
Okay.
So the real crazy thing now is If you like open pass as a controlled player, like you pass, your opponent can then just play a progress day for 8 mana, and then just pass back and ends the
And
turn
then
this way.
Except that, yeah, I was gonna say that on more careful consideration, I think this is actually a huge change because the fact that you're able to play a bunch of burst spells and then pass, and then your opponent has to play stuff, or else they're just accepting that you got a bunch of value on them for free,
Yeah, I
is
think this is
kind of
actually adding a
crazy.
lot of like deck knowledge and planning ahead. You can just like open pass every turn like as a control deck, because your opponent might just chain 5 burst spells and
Yeah.
you lost your whole turn for nothing. So I think that's actually an interesting change. Like there's a lot more depth to it.
This punishes open passing so much.
Well, it depends on the deck. Like you still have to put a progress day into a deck, for example, or like careful preparations. That's
Oh,
very
let me
interesting.
clarify. I think it allows for a lot more open pass punishing, which this is crazy. It's actually a nerf to open passing, which I can't believe they did that.
I like it. Like normally the control deck would just be like sitting there, I pass, I
love it.
pass, I pass, I pass. And I think it's actually adding a little bit of depth to the game and not just
No,
moving it.
Yeah, I think that this adds a lot more skill expression to the game, unironically.
Okay, but maybe
Sorry,
let's
Jade,
make
you're wrong.
an additional. Jade, do you want to add anything? Like, we get the last chance.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think
maybe we make another extra video on this, like from a competitive perspective. But
Yeah,
this video is already
I'm
like
sure.
2 hours long or something. So let's actually
Yeah.
finish it with I think the biggest impact change. Cast is merging with play. What this means is usually if you've played Magic before, you have like you cast your spells. If you put them on the stack, it's one thing, and then if your spell resolves, it's the other thing. And putting on the stack was called play. The resolving was called cast, and now it's merged together. Historically, I've been writing the rule book. Riot didn't even know which cards work with cast or play. They just randomly put these words interchangeably, and you had to like figure out what it means. But now everything happens when you put stuff on the stack. And I'm going to link this as well. I've actually made a list here which champions this actually affects. And I just want to focus on the big ones. Like Fizz now instantly fizzles spells if you put a spell on the stack, even a fast spell. Aphelios levels up easier. And biggest one is like Ezreal. I think you should talk about Ezreal first. Maybe Fizz a little bit, but I don't think Fizz really matters that much. Sure, you can put a fast spell on stack, give him elusive, but maybe let's focus on Ezreal first. So I think Ezreal will be the most broken champion in this new expansion. Just like it's like imagine it's just such a huge buff for Ezreal Caitlyn. Just like have Ezreal on the board and just put 3 mystic shots on the stack, and it deals 6 damage burst to them. It's insane. What do you think about Ezreal?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really broken. I don't like it. I hope they fix it or change it very soon.
Vic?
Yeah, I think fundamentally this change, outside of the context of Ezreal, I think this is a very fantastic change. I think that this brings in a lot of consistency to the game and just changes the game, I guess, and that's not a bad thing. I always appreciate when games change. I don't think players enjoy stagnant gameplay, and we've been playing essentially the same game for nearly 2 years now. This is their second year birthday patch, and so they're really making it clear that they're going to change the game. And looking at your list of things, we're going to have a completely different game on our hands. I think the fact that this change was able to go through without a corresponding Ezreal rework and has subsequently brought back burst speed Ezreal lethals is a huge failure on the balance team and on the league partnership program for all of the professionals who were not able to give their feedback to stop that from happening. I think it is just such a huge slap in the face for anybody who's played this game for a long time that Riot would allow such a toxic and degenerate and a strategy that they have said multiple times that they don't want to exist in the game. How dare they bring it back?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that as well. Like Ezreal change is just like, okay, Jade first. You should already said it's broken, but yeah, Ezreal.
Yeah.
Like it's just like they just printed Cannon. Like, that's what baffles me. They were like printing Cannon, they were like only testing Cannon Ari, and we're like, oh my god, Ezreal is a problem now. And if I see Ezreal breaking the meta so much, I put a huge post-it on my desk and be like, next big change, check Ezreal if it breaks again. Like I would just put a gigantic post-it on my desk and always check it when doing balance changes. But I just kind of forgot again.
Yeah, I think that they need to rework Ezreal
Exactly.
as soon as possible. Just change him.
Yeah. And maybe let's talk about the spell champions a little bit together. So Nami, Heimerdinger, Lee Sin, and Lux, they all also work now on playing instead of casting the spells, or on like when you put it on a stack instead of resolving it. The big implication of this is that they don't work with copying spells anymore. So Lux and Chase don't work together anymore. You only get one final spark from a double 6-cost spell. Karma and Lux don't really work anymore. You only get one spell from each copied spell. And they stated they want to increase gameplay satisfaction of playing with cards like Lux or Heimerdinger. But you're kind of just killing one of the decks by doing this change. Like Chase Lux and Karma Lux was a big deck. And yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of implications with this change that can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we
By the
can.
way? Okay. Yeah, okay. I just think that there's a lot of the impact of these changes, the passing changes and the casting changes. Obviously we saw that Riot Rubenzu was the one who led these changes. So at the end of the day, I trust him. I have faith in him as a developer and that he knows what's good for the game. But it took me 3 seconds seeing the leaked patch notes to understand the implications. And I don't know. I refuse to believe that I'm more intelligent than anybody else in the Legends of Runeterra scene. I am a Twitter memer, okay? I shouldn't be able to identify such flagrant issues in 3 seconds. And those changes should never get to me as somebody who has such limited access and insight to the inner workings of Legends of Runeterra. I'm baffled. I'm baffled.
Okay. Jade, do you want to add anything to the spell thing?
Yeah, no comments, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one last thing I want to talk here is Taric as specific champion. Taric basically got completely reworked. So you can now burst speed, give stuff indestructible, or like I can't take damage or die. If you put a Yielding Spirit on the stack, attack with Taric, and then you because it's played on him, automatically casts it. You can do burst speed judgment. I want to quickly share this with you. Somebody sent this to me. Basically, you attack with a bunch of challengers on the board, and then you cast judgment, and it just like burst speed judgment the whole opponent's board because Taric instantly copies it, and like that's I think the real broken stuff. Like, that's just no counterplay anymore to it. You just like instantly delete the whole board, and I don't really see how these two changes got through. Like that's just Taric is a completely new champion here.
Well, maybe that's what they wanted. Taric has been completely useless, and I don't think he's seen any play.
But it's just so
I just feel like it just feels such an irresponsible way to make a character more playable by making him uninteractable. Like people say that use Cast Salesman is toxic to play verse, and now we have burst field and yielding back. It just feels like it just feels like we're going so backwards.
And it's so sad because all of the changes before were so good, and now all of a sudden we have this random stuff happening that nobody really wants.
These should have been like a standalone patch. It should have been like discussed. This should have been like, how in League of Legends they do the whole off-season thing where they kind of do zany, wacky things. That's what this change should have been. This is like they're literally saying, "Hey, we're releasing Legends of Runeterra 2. Enjoy the new game."
I don't think it's that big,
Okay.
but like some of these cards definitely have to change. Like Ezreal and Taric can't exist in the way they are right now, and it sucks that Chase and Lux don't work together. They were clearly intended this way. It's just a really random change. maybe from the other cards here, I think only like Go Hard matters now. Even if like Notify Go Hard, it still counts towards the 3 that I played. It's another random change. And like Al the Tracker, barcode buffed. But the rest, Albus Ferrus doesn't care about fizzling spells anymore. Most of these are just really random and small, but and I actually like how this works in many things. Like for example, the Forge of Tomorrow was really awkward, where you had to like it only breaks after the spell is finished resolving. So you sometimes obliterate your units if you summon 2 units, for example. So on some, I really like this change, but other like you just have to rework Tarek and Ezreal and Chase now. Like these 3, just don't have a place in the game anymore. Super overpowered or just useless. And yeah.
Jade, do you want to chime in? I haven't heard you in a while.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing
I think I'm happy with this change. I really like it, but I think there's just a few things that I think are like really egregious that Riot missed. So that's it.
And they will just dominate the meta here. Like I really expect most people won't just try out this new Garen change, but just spam Ezreal or Tarek in the next few days. That's kind of makes me sad.
Yeah. People only want to play degenerate combos, unfortunately.
Okay, but let's finish this up. There are like some visual updates that are nice and all. I don't think we have to talk much about those. They're just like kind of useful. Or anything you want to say about those?
Everything else is visual, I think, at this point. Maybe bug fixes.
And they're like alternate art stuff. I really like the new arts. As you know, I have a lot of different skins. I think I own all of them except for like, I have like half of them, I think. But yeah, new emote is nice. New card thingy, bug fixes. Let's see here. Didn't actually read those. Issue where tooltips would sometimes not show. Okay, nice. Oracles I will now interact correctly with level 2 Rumble. Nice. Fixed issue where Mr. Sandisk would remain after leveling. What? Okay, visual change. Landmarks offered after playing at incorrect costs. Okay. Issue where player category is not correctly using optional targeting. Oh, that's huge. But no, but it didn't.
You can.
No.
Yeah, now you can just summon a 1/1.
Yeah, but like they missed the other one. They missed the 6/4. Oh my god.
What do you mean?
The Kindred one. The Shadow Eyes 7 mana 6/4.
Oh, the Rekindler?
No. Ether Fiend.
Oh.
The Ether Fiend.
Oh, Ether Fiend. Oh, you can't just summon it?
No. This one and Dire Caretaker were only 2 cards in the game that you couldn't just summon without playing.
Press OK. Okay.
So that actually that makes me personally sad, but okay, they fixed the spatial interaction with Despair. That's really cool. And that actually blocks the strike effect and consistency stuff. So not a big bug fix here, I would say. But yeah.
I actually want to make a quick design and balancing comment on the alternate art for the spell cards associated with skins. As we can see, it looks like all of the champion spells will also be receiving a skin update to reflect the base skin. So if you have Cosmic Zephyr Yasuo, his champion spell is redesigned, right? And so the implication here is that developer time is now being spent on champion spells. We've seen in the past Riot balance a champion by changing their champion spell, Lee Sin, which instantaneously made him a lot better. This happening here now tells me that they're no longer ever going to be changing champion spells because it is now too much of an artistic and design commitment to release skins, undo artwork, redo artwork for balancing. So I think from now on, champions are stuck with their spells, and no one can talk about champion spells as a balancing point for these characters.
I don't think that's like 100% sure, but like if it's really necessary, you can make a new skin or a new champion spell, or you just put in a normal picture for a few patches if you need time to actually work this out. I don't think that necessarily means that. What do you think, Jade?
I don't exactly have any comments regarding this. I'm not like the greatest. I'm not really like very sure of how all of that works too. So yeah, that's kind of like the way I'm looking at it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can just stay
Yeah.
open with it. But yeah, I can see what you mean. I'd say invest a lot of stuff into this, but a lot of effort into it. But I think you could, like, it is not like voice lines, for example, where you have
Mhm.
wasted voice lines. I think you could just commission a new art and they would work on it. Possibly. Probably not that easily, but
Uh,
possibly.
Maybe it's just maybe I'm stressing out over nothing, but developer time is expensive. Our art time is expensive, and if they're talking about cutting costs to not support seasonal broadcasts, what other costs are they going to make sure that they're avoiding?
Well, I mean, this directly benefits Power of Champions, so people buy skins because
Yeah.
of Power of Champions. I bought the Infernal Cannon skin just because Power of Champions. So, I mean,
Yeah, I just
but it's like
I
all
just
speculation.
think that we won't. Yeah, I just think that I'll call it now. I don't think we'll ever see a champion buff or nerf based on their champion spell anymore.
Okay, I bet against it. Good.
Okay, I'm happy to take that bet. It's fine.
Nice.
I think that's it.
And yeah, to wrap this up, maybe give us your final expressions, talk about one card, one change that you would have liked to see. And yeah, who wants to start? And we can close this video.
I actually want to see Rex come back. That's one card that I want to see come back or change. Yeah, River. I want Rex River. And Fiora too.
Riptide?
Yeah, Riptide Rex and Fiora. Those are two cards I want.
Yes. Now you're lucky.
Yeah,
Riptide Rex
Fiora.
actually gets changed here in this patch. Riptide
Yep.
Rex gets changed from cast Cannon Barrage 6 times to play Cannon Barrage 6 times, which does nothing, but it's a change.
Yeah. Thanks for that. I needed that so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, but yeah, like
I love you, buddy. I love you guys.
So you would make him cast it or play it 7 times again, right?
I mean, if they rework Ezreal, I guess they can do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I'm pretty happy with this patch. I think it's going to really change the meta and change the game for the better. And it's going to allow people to experience a new Legends of Runeterra, unironically. I think that they fully shouldn't have bundled these balance changes with these fundamental gameplay changes, but that we'll have another episode on that, I'm sure. I'm excited to play.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, I also agree on that. And yeah, not much to add. What change would I have liked? I would have liked a change to Scouts and to Ezreal Caitlyn. Like, of course, Ezreal now is super broken, but just in general, those two decks aren't really hit at all. And I think that if you want to play aggressive, you just play Scouts as a mid-range deck. If you want to play control, like mid-range, like slow burn, you just still play Caitlyn Ezreal. Just some changes to these things. I don't know, like they just buffed Quinn and Misfortune, maybe just hit like another card. But just generally, like you could even like cut Genevieve down a little bit to make Garen see more play. That would have been fun. But overall, I think it's fine as long as they hotfix the stupid things like with Taric going on over here and with Ezreal. I think it's a very good patch. And overall, I'm also fine with these changes. They will also be incorporated into the rulebook. And yeah, it leaves me just to thank you two for joining me. And check out our Discord, check out my Twitter account, and also your two's Twitter account. I will also link your Twitter account, JDragon and Vic, if you want more
Thank you.
content, then you find it there. Vic, how many posts do you post each day? Around 40 or 50?
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very active on Twitter. I'm busy uplifting the voices of the other content creators in our community. You can follow me on Twitch and Twitter at Wickhelm. That's WICK
HELM.
And you find a link to that in the description. And if you're a player in the APAC region and want to be more competitive, just send Jade Dragon a message and find a place here as well. Thank you for